Hi, I'm Mrs. Patterson, and my inquiry is about the platypus and the platypus population decline in the Murray-Darling Basin. The platypus is an Australian icon, a mammal that I've been intrigued with since I was a little girl. In 2016, the platypus was listed on the IUCN Red List as near threatened. In South Australia, it's already classified as endangered. I'm knelt down next to a water catchment located just outside of Melbourne. This water catchment is a runoff from the Murray-Darling Basin. It has been reported that a couple of weeks ago, a platypus was sighted in this very same catchment. My presentation will be discussing what's the importance of a healthy ecosystem and the continuous flow of water. I will be discussing what platypuses are and why they are significant to the Murray-Darling Basin. What are their biggest threats? How much will their population decrease by? And what is impacting the water supplies to their habitats? I will also be discussing the steps that are being taken to minimise the habitat destruction and how you can help. Platypuses can be found throughout the eastern parts of Australia, including the freshwater Murray-Darling Basin. Platypuses are one of 5 living egg-laying monotremes. They are predominantly nocturnal semi-aquatic mammals that spend 8 to 16 hours a day foraging for food in riverbeds. They use electroreceptors located in their bill to detect their prey, which consists of invertebrates like worms, yabbies, frogs, insects, and larvae. Platypuses breed between August to March. The female builds a nest inside of a damp, humid burrow on the edge of a riverbank, between tree roots and vegetation. This provides protection from predators and hot climatic temperatures. They lay between 1 to 3 leathery eggs and can reproduce every 24 months. The platypus is of international scientific importance due to its primitive and evolutionary uniqueness. It supports the ecosystem by reducing the overpopulation of herbivorous and macrovertebrates. This helps maintain the biomass of epiphytic algae growth that other species feed on. The platypus population has declined in the Murray-Darling Basin by 30.6% over the past 30 years. Researchers predict a further 47 to 66% decline in the next 50 years, which means the platypus will become extinct in areas of the basin. Unfortunately, due to gaps and discrepancies in population data dated between the 1760s to 2008, it was difficult to obtain exact population numbers. However, the severe decrease in water flow and increased area of habitat destruction severely depleted water catchments that once inhabited platypuses. The platypus' increasing threats like bushfires, droughts, flooding, fishing nets, plus water extractions for farming and damming are further destroying their habitats and breeding grounds. With 3.6 million people relying on the Murray-Darling Basin's water flow, plus increased land clearing, farming, damming, urbanisation, bushfires and droughts, it has destroyed the size of the basin, shrinking it by 22%, approximately 200,000 square kilometres in the last 30 years. Zoos and conservationist teams are working with the federal government bodies like the Murray-Darling Basin Authority and local shires to restore habitats and maintain water flows. Policies and legislations were introduced to control water allocations to farms and corporations, allowing a higher percentage of environmental water to be distributed to areas of the basin to increase the health of the ecosystem. How can you help? Well, by changing your detergents to phosphate-free detergents, minimising water wastage and avoiding using fishing nets in platypus habitats, we can all do our part to help the platypus population. If you spot a platypus in the wild, note your location and contact one of these following people. Thanks to the government, conservationists received funding for several habitat protection projects, species management plans and behavioural studies. These funds have allowed them to safely capture, tag and microchip more platypuses for a DNA and population database, allowing for accurate population numbers for the future. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation, and I hope that you all enjoyed it.
Created using Powtoon.